Now to the scene there in Toronto, a reporter for Global News Toronto, Kamil Karamali. He was on the scene as much of this unfolded. Kamil, tell us what you're seeing there now.
Yeah, still very much an active scene here. You know, a lot of this major artery in Toronto is closed up, taped off. A lot of onlookers wondering what's going on, and once they hear it, they are shaken up because it is a very close-knit neighborhood here along this stretch of Yonge Street that's north of the downtown area. A lot of residential buildings and a lot of people wondering how they're going to get home tonight. We see a lot of police officers with big assault rifles guarding along the street because it's still very much active. As you can imagine, this many deceased and this many people hit, it's not going to close down anytime soon. Tough to remove any of the bodies, and I myself, as well as a lot of reporters here, have been were on scene early enough to see the bodies themselves. So we know that there are multiple casualties here.
Kamil, did you count how many bodies you saw?
I myself saw two, but, you know, it was a chaotic mess. I was trying to meet up with my cameraman, and just because of all the chaos and the places that were taped off, we tried to meet up, and once we did a body count ourselves. So between us, we saw at least four, but once again, those numbers are not confirmed. Police gave us an initial update right off the bat when this first happened, but, you know, they have been quite quiet, I think, trying to do a body count and an injury count themselves. Sure. But they will be giving us an update in the upcoming minutes or hours. Still, things are not clear, but as of right now, still a lot of fear, a lot of chaos, and a big mess. Just in terms of a lot of questions that are still unanswered along this very, very busy, what is usually a busy stretch of Toronto.
As we've been speaking to you, Kamil, we've been seeing some aerial footage there that shows what appears to be bodies under orange sheets, perhaps body bags there, and other witnesses have told us they saw something similar. I just want to ask you, based on what you saw when you arrived at the scene, this vehicle was up on the sidewalk for a stretch. Based on what you saw, did it look to you like a deliberate act?
It's tough to tell because there are so many questions, but I will lay out the facts for you that there are three major stretches, at least, where the van jumped the curb. All right, so there were three pockets where at least there were the van went and up on the curb where there were pedestrians, and there were a stretch of pedestrians that were hit. It seems like, you know, it would take a lot of control to be able to climb and then drive along Yonge Street South and then climb back on the curb and then do it again. So, you know, the answer to that, only police can tell after a detailed investigation, possibly after speaking to the suspect. But, you know, the van itself, I'm sure you can see the pictures. There are dents along the front. You know, the van is heavily dented, likely because of the pedestrians that were struck. And, you know, I saw a very clear shot of one of the pedestrians under the blankets as police were pushing people back, and it looked like, you know, a very, very traumatic pedestrian. So we'll just have to find out once the word comes down from police and from this investigation as to what really happened.
Kamil Karamali witnessed much of what we're seeing there in Toronto. Thanks very much. Please stick around.